interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Vikings Uncensored. Apologize for the brief delay as my computer was being a bitch and I had to restart it. 5
You had to
minutes
restart
before
the old
the
Apple
show.
II.
The old Apple IIc needed to have a kick in the ass here, but
You had to
we
go
are
through
here.
MS-DOS mode to get back on.
Yeah, I had to give the squirrel some peanuts and whatever else to get everything working on here. But we are here. We are live. It is a Friday night. We are coming off the bye week. And this Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings are at home, US Bank Stadium, for the first time in what seems like forever to take on the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. So we will hit all the latest on here. Got to come on
Oh,
during the
shit.
go.
What's the score there, Norse?
Yeah, I forgot about the Gophers game. I was doing some other stuff. I didn't get a chance. I haven't even been watching. I knew they were playing, but I haven't been watching. So they're playing the corn suckers or whatever down there. So Barber, good evening. Norrisvius, good evening. Ant, good evening. Drewster, good evening. Everybody in the chat, good evening. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining, as always. I guess let's just get right into it here. A couple of news items that we'll hit before we roll into the preview. But, of course, if you've been watching, excuse me, any social media this week, the Detroit Lions fans have been crying and whining like little bitches the entire week because their cornerback, or no, safety, whatever the hell he is, Brian Branch, got a 1-game suspension for decking Juju Smith-Schuster after their loss.
Dude, and rightfully so.
Brian Branch is a fucking punk.
Rhino, the dude's been fined 14 fucking times for disciplinary actions.
Yeah.
And I think ejected once or twice. Come on now. It's time for a fucking suspension.
Well, I saw this on Twitter X here earlier this evening. Some Detroit Lions fan was crying their ass off about him being suspended, and somebody went on there and had a very good point. He said Brian Branch is one of the dirtiest players in the game, and the only people who don't know it are Detroit Lions fans. So between him and Kirby Joseph, I mean,
right, and they both play safety, so I mean, there's that too.
Both assholes, and they're dirty ass. Ant has been kicked off Facebook for it. Okay, we'll start calling him Brian Brandt.
Brunswick Watermilk. I wish I could have played offensive line in high school, but they had me at defensive tackle, so that's where I played. I wanted to play quarterback, but you know, there could only be one Jared Lorenzen, and it wasn't me. So
yeah, well, you could have been the Jared Lorenzen before Jared Lorenzen, but
I could have threw that ball over those mountains.
Yeah. Rico Brunswick.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so that's been going on. Brian Branch will not play this week, of course. Not much else really news-wise this week, unless you're looking at the the game, Thursday night football game last night, Jamar Chase goes for 199
Yeah, lit
as
it up.
the Cincinnati Bengals beat Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Joe Flacco looking vintage Joe Flacco last night, to be honest with you.
Well, the thing that got me last night, and we need to maybe look at this a little bit more for the everybody in the stadium and everybody watching TV knew that they were going to throw the ball to Jamar Chase, and they just kept doing it, and he kept catching the damn ball.
Credit to Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
Get them open and put them in good spots to make plays. Yeah, I Joe Flacco deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I got to say, just the longevity of his career, the Super Bowl win, being able to go from a starter down to a backup and still have an impact as well after his prime. I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. So that's just me.
I'm not going to go quite Hall of Fame area, but I mean, it's you got benched in Cleveland, traded within the division. That's how little Cleveland thought of him. And then goes out and plays like he did last night. I mean,
Big swing game this weekend.
Yep, it absolutely is. Other news-wise, I don't have much else other than, of course, Brian Callahan fired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans this week as well. I don't know who's coaching them this week. I don't know if it matters, but
yeah, they were. Those anticipatory throws to Chase were absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
I didn't get to watch a ton of the game. I watched part of it, but yeah, everything I saw, I was impressed.
Well, and the Bengals were able to get their running game going, so
yeah, which
has been pretty much non-existent for the entirety of the season up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped out Flacco and company a lot.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh turning the ball over twice definitely didn't help their cause either. So
well, yeah, that either, and then without Trey Hendrickson either as on defense for Cincy, they came out to play some good ball last night. So.
Yeah, they were definitely on a mission last night, and that's. Hey, Reggie is in the house. Good evening, my friend. Yeah, let's not. I'm not going to get into that one right now. We could have a whole show.
See it on Sunday. I guarantee you, we're going to see it once or twice. On Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely, we're going to fucking see it. Now, I would like for this to be the one game where you see it and it fucking blows up in their faces.
Just to clarify what we're talking about here, push. But there is some big news in Vikings land.
Which one is that? I've got several.
With the calling of the starting of the quarterback and the
yes, and we'll use that as the roll into the preview for the Philadelphia game. Announced this afternoon that Carson Wentz will be the starter Sunday. JJ McCarthy still not 100%.
You know what, Rhino? I'm just going to go with what we've gone with since Quessy and KOC have got here. You got to trust that front office. Got to trust Kevin O'Connell to do what's best for this team. And you know what? Honestly, if he feels like McCarthy isn't ready with what he's done with quarterbacks in his time here, you listen to O'Connell. Yeah. I don't know if that's all fluff, but and like O'Connell has said, Rhino, organizations fail young quarterbacks before young quarterbacks fail their organization. And if O'Connell truly believes that McCarthy is not ready, you got to remember the kid is only 22 years old.
Yeah.
And if Carson Wentz is winning, Rhino, maybe we can give him a little bit of time to get on the field. I know everybody wants to rush him back. And we I've been back and forth in the last couple of weeks on this wagon. But honestly, if Kevin O'Connell doesn't believe he is ready and honestly has some footwork issues that he needs to get taken care of, let the kid get the grasp.
Well,
before you toss him out there again.
And
if Wentz is winning us games.
Yeah, well, what they also said was on the European trip, McCarthy actually had some swelling in his ankle from the 8 hour plane ride, which we talked about that before they even went over there. That was a thing that was brought up.
And I
And
mean, Drew Bunting himself said once before we drafted JJ, he may take a couple years before you want to throw him out there.
yeah,
So, I mean, people don't realize just how young this kid is playing the hardest position in all of sports. So, and the fact that he had missed 600 and something days without high level football play.
And I wouldn't get the cart ahead of the horse on this one here on a short week. I would, if being he's not playing this weekend, I would think it'd be fairly unlikely that he actually does play against it.
Oh, the Detroit game has to mean him too. He played at Michigan, man. I mean,
yeah, but I mean that you got the mini bye coming up after next Thursday after we're done with the Chargers. That basically gets McCarthy ready to play against Detroit.
And like I said, if Wentz is playing ball, good ball, winning ball, then you don't really necessarily have to rush McCarthy back. And people are going to be like, oh, McCarthy's not coming back. That must mean he's not the guy. Well, no, that's not the case. People need to get that out of their mind.
Well, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people in our fan base that have the freaking patience of a toddler on Red Bull.
And I said a couple of weeks ago, McCarthy's time will come again. His time will come again.
And it will come this year.
And it may be this year.
No, it will be this year. I guarantee you they put him back out there at some, McCarthy's still the guy. He's going to be the guy. But now Wentz obviously is this weekend. I would say that there's a 90+% chance Wentz is the guy next weekend, barring something bad happening this week. And, then we got the 10 days to get ready for Detroit. And I think that's just when McCarthy comes back.
Well, that's a great possibility as well. But if you got Wentz out there playing clean football, winning games, I don't believe it's as much of a detriment to McCarthy's development as people want to believe. Yes, live game reps are the best way to develop, but at the same time, do you want to jeopardize your season with a quarterback that might not be ready?
It's a catch-22 because I
mean, in a way, that's your organization failing the young quarterback by putting him out there when he isn't ready to go.
But there is there's a difference, and this has been talked about this week with the footwork and stuff. His footwork looks good in practice and all this stuff. It's when he gets in the live reps and he's getting that live pressure and stuff at him is when he starts to get happy feet. You're not going to fix that.
Sometimes it's hard to get away from bad habits. Or
you're not going to fix that in practice if it's not a problem in practice.
Yeah. And I'm not
unless they just start turning Jonathan Grenard loose at him.
All I could say is that Kevin O'Connell has to handle the situation very delicately, in a way. Because there's going to be, and it's Kevin O'Connell's job to lose. Fuck what everybody else says as the fan base goes. Kevin O'Connell's going to do what's best for the team, and what's going to make sure that he keeps his job, and so he can be here to develop McCarthy along the way.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, if the organization listened to the fan base, we'd be the fucking Cleveland Browns.
Right. Or the Jets, getting rid of players.
Or right now the Jets, which is worse. Which, I mean, that was another thing last weekend. Justin Fields had -10 yards passing for the game.
Right. Here's one, Rhino. You go into the Detroit game and you got Carson Wentz sitting at somewhere between 10 and 14 touchdowns to 2 to 5 interceptions. Do you really bench that guy at quarterback in favor of McCarthy?
5 interceptions means he would throw 3 interceptions in the next 2 weeks, and that's not good.
That's a true point. But he'd still be sitting at, but if he's throwing 14 touchdowns, that means he's, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I mean, when it comes down to brass tacks, what really matters is who's winning the fucking games. If we're winning games, then yeah, you can afford
Right.
to take it a little, play it a little more conservative with McCarthy and everything else. But if we start, if we go out and drop the next 2 games, then yeah, you got to make the switch.
Oh yeah, then there's nothing to lose. Then your backs are against the wall, and you might as well go out and
Right.
figure it, see what you got. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that this year is the be all end all on whether or not
I don't think
McCarthy's
so
ready.
either. Which is what gives you that leeway to go with Wentz. Like I said, the kid is 22. Yes, you need to know if he's ready. You do, but then at the same time, if he goes out and loses 6 or 7 games this year, you're going to have people calling for his head.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Drew. That's absolutely
Yep.
right.
Good. Hey, Brian. Good evening. Yeah, Van Ginkel is the only Viking officially ruled out for this week. Cashman should be
Of
back.
course, the guys on IR as well, but yeah.
Yeah, well, but the guys who are available. Cashman will be back this week. Donovan Jackson, no injury designation as of today, so he's back at full.
O'Neal's going to be awesome if we can get him back.
O'Neal is questionable, so it's between him and
honestly, I would take my time with O'Neal. I want him back at 100%. I don't want him back with a bad knee at 85%.
Yeah.
So,
but the other big news just came out this afternoon. Blake Brandel will get his second start.
I love it. I love it
this weekend. He impressed enough, in the game against Cleveland to get another start. Even though Michael Juergens is back and able to go.
I'm excited to see the run game this weekend. Especially the left side. Holy crap, man!
Yeah, I mean, we have three of the initial starting 5 for sure back this week. Darisaw, Donovan Jackson, and
he does, Drew. Brandel absolutely deserves it.
He does.
And if we found the pot of gold with Brandel, then shit, we might be locked up at center for a while.
Wes Phillips even said that in his OC press conference earlier in the week that that center might be the best spot of any of the places they've had Brandel play for him. I mean, and if you get somebody that big, hulking, and that can play center,
Burke was a big center, and he's damn near, he's damn near a Hall of Famer. So,
but you get a guy like him in there, and if that is where Brandel truly shines, I mean, by accident, we maybe find our center for the next 5-6 years.
And he's not that old either. I mean, yeah, he's been here for 5 years?
Yeah.
So 5 years. Zimmer was one of Zimmer's last draft pick, or Rick Spielman's last draft picks.
Yeah, but I mean, you could easily still get another 5-6 years of.
Linemen have longevity in the NFL if they're good. So
yeah.
Look at Trent Williams. He's 36, 37 years old and still doing it for San Francisco?
Yeah, he's mid-30s somewhere in there. Yeah, anyway, but discussing act, that's a great point. You got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. If you can hold up against Mason Graham and Malik Collins, we have, and that's the thing. It went up against the best front 5 of the league, or front 7 in the league last week, and did a very good job.
They need to take something out of that game and learn from it, because obviously they were doing something right. Yep. So whatever's going right, you don't fucking go wrong. You keep doing what's working.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of that when we get into the keys to the game here in just a minute. But the Eagles are getting some guys back too. Jalen Carter on track to play. Their one cornerback.
Yeah, it's Schooley, and you know what? Schooley had a good game against the Browns. He didn't give up any sacks.
Yeah, so. I still think Walter Rouse would be better at right tackle than School, but
I don't think that's the way they're going to go, just based off of last week, though.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, Drew, that's going to be it. They're going to have Oliver. Or they'll have Hawkinson chipping before he goes out into a pass play. I don't care how they do it as long as they make it work. That's the biggest.
You know what? Brandel played exceptionally well at center last week. I did notice one snap where he did snap it a little low and went to go down and grab it, but thankfully we were able to turn that into a positive play.
Yeah,
I did not like that pitch play to Mason on third down, was it third down against the Browns? That pitch play that
yes.
it's all about that drive right at the 50-yard line. So
There again, we tried to get cute. It was third and short, and you're trying
right,
to do no
run it right up the ass. You run it right up
right. You
right
got
towards those defensive tackles.
just slam it up in there, and you get your yard, and then you move on. You don't need to get cute. You don't need to go now. Although speaking of getting cute, I did like the little touchdown pass from Cam Akers.
That was awesome.
That worked out nicely.
You know what? And what else was pretty cute was moving Jefferson into the backfield. You know he ain't getting the ball, but there's lots of things you can do out of that set. So he's not getting the ball on the run play out of that set. Most likely,
they have had him run out of the backfield before. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can mix some of that stuff in there, but you got to take what's given. And what worked last week. A lot of it, and that's what helped the offensive line too, were these short, the quick 1-2, boom, ball out. And I know
Wentz did that very well.
And I know it pained Kevin O'Connell to do that because you could tell in his press conference that it was like he was pissed that he had to do it. But
look at
set your ego aside and do what works.
Exactly, because look how much of a rhythm game it did for Wentz.
Yeah.
Really. Getting him in rhythm.
And then you look at it when they went away from that quick rhythm passing game and tried to go back to those long developing shit, that's when we stalled out in the third quarter.
Right. And with the long developing stuff, maybe you might be able to mix that in there a little bit more this week with the returning of these healthier guys on the offensive line, but don't make that your go-to.
No. And that's the thing. You dink and dunk and dink and dunk and dink and dunk. So you got their defense playing up. Then you hit them up over the top.
It's like we said last week, how KOC was preaching it about Montana and Elway and these guys doing it so boring, but then still leading their offenses to touchdowns at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, practice what you preach, guy.
Right.
Good evening, Doc. Welcome.
I mean, but yeah, Drew, that's a good point. So we'll get into that, and we'll kind of roll the preview and the keys to the game and everything in together here. If that's been proven, especially the last 2 weeks, if you can stop Saquon Barkley, the Eagles are done.
Yeah,
and that's going to be
the Minnesota Vikings,
and that's going to be key. It's
he's the X factor of this game is Saquon Barkley, in my opinion.
Yeah, well. It's controlling Saquon Barkley and it's keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Hurts, I believe, is the leading rusher for the Eagles this year.
Yeah, and he's like the league's worst passer this year as far as passing goes.
Yeah, and you've got AJ Brown out there doing
I think they got the 27th ranked passing offense in the league. So
yeah, cryptic tweets about this, that, and everything, and whatever else. And yeah,
you know what? I still think that, like we said last week, that defense is coming around. That defensive line is coming around. I think Hargrave's been playing with an injured chest since that game a few weeks ago that we had talked about. So yeah, I don't know. I think this defense, it's playing well, but I think you guys just wait and see because the best is yet to come on defense.
Well, and we got to see something out of Jonathan Allen. He's been almost invisible.
He's been a ghost. But I think it's all going to start clicking here pretty damn soon. It's already clicking pretty well on defense, but it's going to be at where we wanted it to be at coming into the season, I believe, by week 6. Week 7, so that'd be putting that about this week where they start hitting their stride.
Yeah, great comment here by Drew. Saquon Barkley first 4 games over 18 carries each game, 4-0. The last 2 games less than 18 carries a game, and they're 0-2. That is that's the key right there. This offense goes through Saquon Barkley, and if you can stop him, then you have a good chance of beating the Eagles.
And with this, Brian, it doesn't help when you got Ivan Pace being the league leader in missed tackles.
Yeah.
So
now having Cashman back this week is going to be huge, I think, in that.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Wilson. So
honestly, I think we're going to see a lot more rotating between
right.
Pace and Wilson just because of the fact that he's had that missed and the sad part about
This
this
is what's
was
going to be, I think, like Rhino was just saying, it's going to be a rotation between Wilson and
yeah,
Pace.
Pace's rookie year especially, he was one of the better tacklers in the league, and now all of a sudden,
He was one of the better tacklers. He has regressed.
I don't know if he's just losing focus or discipline or what's going on out there, but it almost is like he's just trying to fire himself at these guys and knock them over instead of just wrapping up and tackling, and I think that's part of the problem. Yeah, Harrison Phillips wasn't any bigger than Jalen Redmond or any of those guys up front. That was one thing I've always had a gripe about is we don't have that big space eating monster nose tackle. And that's the thing with the 3-4 guys. A lot of them are going to they're going away from that big dude in the middle and to somebody a little bit smaller who can rush the passer and who can do a lot of movement around and stuff.
This is a good point by Doc here too. Maybe this is the case. The support just hasn't been there on the back end in the run game for Pace to really. But if that's what you need to be able to stand on your own as well.
Yeah.
So
he does, but to that point, it's absolutely true. With you get Cashman back in there, I think it's going to help Pace. But Eric Wilson has played well enough that he.
I'm just going to stop you there. I'm going to address this right now. I'm sorry, Ricky Broom. We don't want to lose you as a viewer, but since we started the show, we've always called it like it is, straight from the hip. Call it as we see it, even if it means that we have to, call out some things that we don't want to talk about either, but we just do.
Yeah. So, if somebody needs called out, we'll call them out. If somebody deserves the praise, we're going to give them the praise, and that's a guy that's deserving of praise that's going to be, I think, a big key factor this week is Isaiah Rodgers.
And Cashman, I think, is going to be huge for that defense.
Yeah, I do too. But Isaiah Rodgers has a little bit of a extra incentive here too because he was with Philly last year,
and they cut him, or they let him walk because they had more faith in somebody else.
Right. Well, and it was somebody had posted something. I saw this on Twitter the other day. Isaiah Rodgers is a really good follow on Twitter. He's really good dude. He's giving away tickets and he's doing all this other stuff.
He's a great stand-up guy for sure.
he is. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, to the home opener, he gave a pair of tickets to a little kid and his mom, and the kid had a blast. He got to meet him and stuff. It was great. Good stuff if you want to watch. But somebody on the Philadelphia beat writers or something posted something about the fact that Isaiah Rodgers didn't even give Philly a chance to re-sign him or whatever. And Rodgers replied back to him, "Check your facts, bro," or something, something to that or whatever. So there's a little bit of animosity in there. And I think that, that's going to give Rodgers a little extra incentive this week. Carson Wentz, again, the guy, he was drafted 3rd overall by the Eagles, was the big reason why they made it to the Super Bowl in 2017. And then, after he got hurt, played another year or so there and ended up, they cast him aside for Jalen Hurts. So there's definitely
traded him to Indy.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely, multiple different tentacles to the stuff here. So, I think, as we said with the show title, entering the Gauntlet here, this is supposed to be the worst. Supposedly the Vikings have the hardest schedule from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're hitting Philadelphia at just the right time. They're struggling.
I mean, they have lost the last 2 games, so that kind of makes me think, hopefully we haven't cut them at the wrong time either. Well, but this is a big swing game, though. Especially, I feel more confident going up against LA than I do Philly. So there's
Yeah,
that. Although doesn't mean I'm not confident going up against Philly. I do believe that we have what it takes to beat Philly. I mean, and
yeah,
anybody else
and
for
you
that
know, at
matter.
the beginning of the year, we all had this game penciled as a loss. But I think with the current state of the Eagles and what's going on and stuff, I think there is
I like that, Doc.
there's a key opportunity for the Vikings here to steal one. So, but we'll talk about that when we get to the prediction segment. But with that, why don't we roll into the keys to the game here? What we think the Vikings must do on Sunday to come out victorious against these Philadelphia Eagles. Lance, I will give you the floor first. Let us hear it.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is on both of our on everybody in here's key point card, and that's stopping Saquon Barkley. Number one, first and foremost, do not let Barkley have a Brian or the dude, God, Bijan from
Bijan Robinson,
Atlanta
yeah.
type of day against us, because he's totally capable of playing like that. So, and we went to the bye week talking about how this run defense needs to improve, and you got a nice tough test coming up this weekend, Saquon Barkley. So let's shut that down right away. Number two, you look at your game plan on offense from the prior week against Cleveland, and you take a lot away from that, and that's kind of how you need to start running things around here, because that's what's working, and it seems to be working pretty damn good as far as efficiency goes. And number three, convert on third downs. On third downs. That's huge. We've been horrible in that aspect this year. That, along with the penalties, keep the penalties to a minimum. Another key to this game, especially pre-snap penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, that as well. And I do believe that Mason is in store for another big running game this weekend against Philly. So, let's get that run game going. That's big as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're lockstep on a lot of the same keys here.
And win the turnover battle, because right now we're sitting at -2 in the turnover battle, whereas last year I think we were sitting at +12 at this point in the season. So,
yeah, my number one key. Oh, go ahead.
I believe this defense is better than last year's defense, and I believe the potential to be top 5 defense by the season's end is definitely not out of reach.
No,
or an out of pocket comment.
I mean, they're there right now, other than the run defense. But
this is the best pass defense I've seen in years.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Ever since Flores has been here, his defenses typically start a little bit slow, and like you mentioned earlier, they start hitting that stride about week 6, week 7, somewhere in there. So,
and another thing I've noticed with the Flores defense is that it does not give up a lot of points.
No,
you really have to earn those touchdowns.
We are third in the league in points right now. Given so,
and we haven't been giving up the big plays either this year, outside of the one to Metcalf.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. I mean, even the best defenses in the league have a slip up once or twice. I mean, it just is what it is.
Oh yeah, Ricky, I mentioned it coming out right at the beginning of the show. You got to trust in Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah. My keys, like I said, we're lockstep on a lot of them. My number one is stop Saquon Barkley, because you do that and you make this game a whole lot easier to come out with a win. If you let him run free, then we got problems. But he just hasn't looked like the Barkley from last year. But he had, I think, 400 touches or something like that last year. So there's a lot of times when they workhorse the hell out of somebody like that, one year, the next year they have a little bit of a down year. So I mean, you've got to just be able to contain him. Go ahead.
I hate to nudge into here you with Rhino, but I get these fleeting thoughts every once in a while. But I truly believe Wentz is starting to get comfortable behind center. I think it might have taken him a few games to really, but from the beginning of the last game until the end, I mean, from the beginning since he started until now, just through the progression, it seems like he's gotten a lot more comfortable. So, I mean, I think that would bode well as well going into this week.
Yeah. My second key to the game, I touched on this earlier. Keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. Don't let him get out and run wild on you because, like I said, he is the leading rusher for the Eagles so far this year.
Hurts?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to keep him in the pocket, make him one-dimensional, and then get in his face.
Do you keep a spy on him? Do you keep a spy on Hurts this week?
You might have to, but as long as your edge guys can maintain that edge when they're coming in, keep him in the pocket and let those guys up the middle, your Redmonds and your Hargraves and those guys.
So close. Grenard's been so close all season to just nailing sacks.
Yeah, he's only
by a hair.
Well, him and Dallas Turner both they both got a ton of pressures, but they're just not not getting home for the sacks. So
yeah,
yep, Drew. That brings me to my next point is continue that quick passing game that we used against Cleveland. Get the ball out. We don't need to hit 20, 30, 40-yard chunk plays every time. 4 to 5 yards of play moves the change. Dink and dunk it. If you got to run 12 play drives to score, run 12 play drives to score.
In response to Drew's comment there, Wentz was one of the leaders in getting the ball out last week. I don't think it's so much of getting the ball out quicker as much as it is being more decisive. If it's open, throw it. Don't hesitate.
Yeah, and he's got to trust. He's got the best wide receiver in the planet out there running routes, and he's got a top 15 wide receiver in the league as your wide receiver too. Trust those guys.
You can't. He needs to be more decisive.
Yeah. Ian, yeah, that's a very good point too. That
even in the end,
that the tush push thing, let's render that thing ineffective. The Vikings are one of the best teams in the league against third and long. So if you can get them in that 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, yeah, you eliminate that play out of their playbook.
You got to keep them. You got to keep them at 3rd and long. You cannot let them get there because you know it's coming. It's coming.
No, because nobody can stop that damn play. Really, and they ran it 4 straight plays, last week in the game.
And that's not even my team, and I was pissed off.
Yeah.
Against the Giants.
Realistically, they could line up and run that damn play the entire way down the damn field.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
a cheat code is what I'm saying.
I've always been of the opinion that if you don't like it, just stop it. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm getting fucking sick of it.
I think like I said last week, a good thing for it would be the only way that you're allowed to use it if it's for 4th and short. But that's just me.
Well, I think there has to be, and Judd Zolgad on Purple Daily had a good comment about this the other day. You would have, if you're going to limit it, you would have to specify, not just that you can't push a player from behind. You would have to specify how and when it could be, what's deemed acceptable, what's deemed unacceptable.
Like I said, 4th and 1 would be the time that I would say it's only acceptable.
Yeah, it's something. It's like you said, it's a damn cheat code, and the best way to eliminate the issue with that is to keep them out of the situation,
or to figure it out. Right, but I don't know how you're going to do that. It's such a bang bang play.
And they've got the personnel that makes it work every time. That's the thing.
You got Mackey throwing out trade fucking Marios for J.J. McCarthy already.
The Mackey thing I'm not so much on, but I still like Judd. Judd's been a beat writer for a long time.
I've always been a Judd guy. I used to follow Judd and Chip and Judd back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, yeah, Hubbard Media or whoever runs the Score North stuff. Yeah, I mean they pay these guys to shock
At,
jock the stuff, but when
at
it
the end of the
boils
day,
down
we're
to
all doing
brass
the same
tacks,
thing.
Judd
So
Judd knows his football stuff, and
respect. Yeah.
right. Um, yeah. Then so continue the quick passing game. That's the big thing. Take what they're going to give you. And if those options open up to hit, Addison or Jefferson streaking down the field, hit them, but don't force them. And then, and then my
Listen,
last,
we got great wideouts that can get that good yak
yeah,
with Jefferson, Addison, and with Naylor.
yeah,
We got the wideout talent to get the yards after the catch on these out routes. These out routes have been money for us, especially the last game we played. Those out routes were wide open every fucking time.
mm-hmm.
So if you get those quick out routes going and those drag routes going across the middle, hit them.
Yeah. Well,
The thing I don't like is I did see this a lot last game, and that was running on first down every fucking series. Mix it up a little bit more on first down, maybe a little bit.
yeah. No, unless we're getting 5-6
down.
yards of carry on first down, then yeah.
Well, yeah, if they're
all
not
means.
stopping it, of course, then you keep going back to it. But when it comes to be repetitive, they know what you're going to on first down every time. You got to mix up that first down is just as important as fourth down is, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. But yeah, then my other one is establish the run early, get Jordan Mason going, get Scott involved. Do that. You can start running off the play action, which I mean, we don't run a lot of play action for whatever reason. But a lot of the reason I think in the past why we've never run it is because the running game hasn't been effective. And you can't do good play action without an effective running game. So yeah.
Yes, I talked about that last week, Drew.
Absolutely.
I said my exact words were, Rhino, I gotta say something quick. But hasn't Kevin O'Connell started most of these games slow throughout his entire tenure here?
Yeah.
He starts games slow. He's been much more.
What's even more annoying is when we go out first drive of the game, we march right down the field, score a touchdown,
and then we don't see until
then the offense goes into hibernation until like midway through the third quarter.
Right.
You got to maintain the intent, get some intensity to start the game, and maintain it throughout the game. Go out there and do to Philly what we did to the
Cincy.
Bengals. Yeah.
Yes.
But with that, you got anything else you want to?
Should go. That's how every fucking game should go.
Yep. Anything else you want to hit on this game before we roll into predictions?
No.
All right. So with that, we will roll into our weekly predictions segment where we not only, of course, look at the game that the Vikings have this coming week, but also the rivals of the NFC North in their endeavors for the week as well. Now, we had the last 2 weeks, we've had bye weeks.
I think he called his best game as a coach last week.
I would agree with that, yeah. Stop chasing the score, Drew. Set the score. Don't chase it.
Right.
Absolutely right. All right, so predictions segment. We'll start off the Sunday noon. The New Orleans Saints travel to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears.
I mean, the Bears, they've been coming around. I mean, they're sitting at 3-2 just like us. The talent is there in Chicago. It seems to me that Ben Johnson's taming the beast that is Caleb Williams as far as quarterbacking goes. But you know what? New Orleans fights. They're sitting at 1-5, but their record doesn't say it all. Rattler's playing better ball than he did last year. But Chicago at home with momentum on their side. I just don't see New Orleans pulling this off as much as I would love to see that. I'm going to have to go with Chicago here.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago had no business winning that game last week. if Washington holds on to the ball on that final drive, they win the game, and Chicago's sitting at 2-3.
Yeah, but that's the NFL for you.
But yeah, and all credit due to Chicago. They forced the fumble that turned the ball over. I mean, yeah.
Well, Jaden Daniels forced his own fumble to turn the ball over, so
Well,
it's on a handoff to Krosky Merritt. So
yeah, it was a bad snap or exchange, but
yeah,
it. I mean, yeah, I got to give the Bears some credit. You know, I rip on the Bears deservedly so a lot, but you know, yeah, and we knew they would get better with Ben Johnson at head coach, and it would take some time, and it's starting to show that. I would love to see the Saints come in here and win that game. I think it's possible that they could.
yeah, I think it's possible to. They're like I said, they're not an easy out. They are
No.
not an easy out. So,
But yeah, I got to take the Bears in here. I guess just much as I hate to, Bears win this one. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but one score game.
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what the casual observer would imagine it would be.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know what the spread is, but I would say it's probably be a 4-point game, something like that. But
yeah,
second game, Sunday, 3:25 p.m. The Green Bay Packers, again with their brutal schedule, travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals.
I could see the Cardinals fucking winning this game. I'm still not sold on the Packers at all by any means whatsoever. I could see Arizona winning this game. So, especially after the adversity they had to go through last week. So, I mean, either they're gonna fold or they're gonna put up a fight this week, and I think Arizona can come out and win this game. I'm gonna go Arizona here.
Oh, I mean, Arizona has been a dumpster fire all year. And
they started out pretty quick. Came out the gates 3-0.
But I mean, the last couple weeks and whatever, they just it's been a mess.
It looks like a circus. Yeah, it does look like a circus on the field there. Yeah, with the ball hitting Murray in the face, with the dude dropping the ball before he gets into the end zone. But
yeah, and the Jonathan Gannon having to go out and apologize for basically getting in the guy's face about. If that was me, and I mean, this guy's a third string running back, that guy would have been off the team Monday.
I've heard that Gannon put hands on him.
Well, he kind of whapped him in the shoulder. It wasn't a.
Well, that's all it was.
Yeah, it wasn't anything.
Oh my God, they were making it seem like he fucking punched him in the face.
I know. No, I saw the play. I mean, it wasn't even the Mike Zimmer shoved back on Kirk Cousins in that you like that moment. It was, basically he was ripping his ass, and then the guy started walking away, and he kind of grabbed him by the shoulder pads and spun him back around again. Basically, hey, I'm not done talking to you yet, kind of thing. So, yeah, that kind of made a mess of things. I mean, could they get it right again? Yeah.
I think Arizona's had Green Bay's number the last few seasons, so.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Nothing would make me happier than to see the Cardinals beat the Packers this weekend. Yeah,
I'm going to go Cardinals. I could see the Arizona pulling off the upset. Green Bay still hasn't beat a winning team.
No, they haven't, but this is kind of what they did last year. They
Okay. That was at home too, wasn't it? The disgusting act?
I think it was in Green Bay last year, yeah. I don't remember, but anyway.
Either way, I'm going Arizona.
All right. I would love to see it, but I can't in good conscience pick Arizona. Trying to be not, unbiased on this here, I'm going to go Green Bay.
Yeah, I think that Arizona defense is a little underrated. So, And that Green Bay defense
Is
is garbage
overrated.
out is garbage outside of the edge rushers there that still have yet to show up this season. So
Yeah, I mean, all that money for Micah Parsons, he's got what, 2.5 sacks?
I think we're going to steamroll Green Bay both times this year. I'm not jinxing us, but the basis based off of last year, I think we're going to steamroll them. So
Yeah, well, we'll worry about that when we get to that point. But then the third game of the slate here, Monday Night Football, another doubleheader Monday night. I don't know why they're doing this.
it's stupid.
Because and I mean the games are overlapping. The one starts like an hour earlier than the other one, so you got to pick
Why
which
don't
one
they
you
just
want.
do what they used to do and have them play separately, where they're not overlapping? It
Yeah,
is stupid.
actually, I think it's more. There's more of a gap this weekend because the second game is in Seattle, but the first game is this could be one of the better games of the weekend. Detroit going down to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers.
God, I love me some Baker Mayfield right now. And outside of Minnesota, as far as player goes, and that redemption arc, and just this the way he plays the game and the style he plays with, I just love that in a quarterback. And I like Mayfield coming out of the draft that year for the Browns, and I like just how his arc was. It's like Darnold's is.
Mm,
Oh, it's very comparable to that. But I love Baker. Baker, I think, brings more to the table than Darnold does
yeah.
as far as a leader goes, and just intensity. I love the intensity he plays with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm Baker for MVP this year. I'm on board on that.
Hey, good morning to the Filipino fan club joining us all the way from the other side of the globe. So good morning, Nympha.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa over Detroit,
Yeah,
who has yet to beat a winning team yet this year as
yeah,
well.
I tend to agree with you on this. Tampa Bay is legit. They're not a joke. And Baker, like you said, he's in that conversation right now for MVP. He found life in Tampa Bay, and I mean that it's he got out of Cleveland, which I mean nobody finds life in Cleveland, but
Or
uh,
Carolina.
yeah. But I think Tampa Bay is sneakily one of the better teams in the NFC right now, and
I don't know if it's so much sneaky anymore.
And yeah, you might be right. I mean, they're starting to get noticed anyway. I guess we'll put it that way. But yeah, I'm picking the Bucks in this game. I think it's high time for Dan Campbell to do something
That's a
fucking
great
stupid.
point there. That's a great point there. I don't think he does either. It's not his.
No,
That's not in his repertoire of play style. That's not his. That's not his forte.
no.
I see much more of an intense player, a guy that really wants to be great.
I think if Baker was on this team last year, we would at least have made the NFC
I
Championship
love
game.
that too, Josh. That's a great comparison.
Yeah, that doesn't quite have the arm strength that Favre had, I don't think, but still, I mean, there's a lot of comparables there that I would say can.
I like his. I like the way he's able to move around in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fucking slippery.
Yeah.
He's so
Not
slippery.
not okay. Since we're talking about Favre and quarterbacks and stuff here, did you see that thing with Rodgers last night
No, I didn't.
when scored that one touchdown toward the end of the game there to get it close, back within 3 or whatever it was, and Rodgers was jumping and skipping and down towards the end zone or whatever, and one of his offensive linemen went down to go fucking bear hug him, and he ended up fucking tackling him. Rodgers hit
Jesus.
the fucking ground. He came back up and he was just pissed at that guy. And I saw it on Twitter this morning. They said that whoever posted, and I apologize, I forget who had posted, but it says the more you watch this, the funnier it gets. And I watched it about 6 times, and yeah, it got funnier every time I watched it.
You know, Favre would have been laughing.
Oh, far, yeah,
He would have been trying to pick him up on his shoulders and run down the sideline.
yeah, no, but Rodgers had that kind of Mike Zimmer look in his eyes when Cousins did that. You like that thing to him. He just like, and he almost
Trying to hurt
lunged at
me.
him.
Trying to hurt me.
Yeah. So, but anyway, last game on the slate, of course, the most important game of the weekend. Sunday at noon, U.S. Bank Stadium, the Philadelphia Eagles coming to play our Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going to go, obviously, with Minnesota here. I believe we can beat these guys. The thing that really gives me a little bit of anxiety is the fact that Philly is bleeding right now. And they need this game more than we do, I think, as far as that goes.
I don't know about that.
So, I mean, yeah, this is a must-win for us, too, but I mean, for Philly being the Super Bowl winners, coming out here showing that they still got it. I mean, there's a lot on the table right now for those guys. Can they go out and clean up some of the things that they've had issues with and play well? I don't know, but I'm gonna say that we have enough to come away with the win here. Set the tempo is what we need to do right away. Set the tempo coming out right out the gate. Cannot come out slow and sluggish off the bye week.
No, we do that, we're going to be down 17-3 in no time.
Right, and this is, like I said, a huge swing game. It sets us up with momentum going against the chart, going into LA on Thursday night. And if you walk out 5-2 after that LA game, I know I'm looking ahead a little bit here, but man, just to be where we were at last week, a couple of weeks ago, looking before the Browns game where things were looking kind of dire, but to walk away after Thursday night 5-2, that'd be huge for this team going forward.
Yeah, I'm not worried about 5-2. All I'm worried about is going 4-2 this week. And like I said, I think we've caught Philly at the right time. There's a lot of question marks over there. Oh God, Ant just gave us the kiss of death. I was going to pick the Vikings, but now since Ant did that, I might have to change my mind. But the Vikings need this game.
Gotta stop Saquon.
You got. If you can stop Saquon, we talked about this at length earlier in the game. If you can stop Saquon, then that makes this game a whole lot easier.
The thing is that Jalen Hurts has beat us without Saquon too.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts has beat us without Saquon. So
no, but most preseason predictions, we had the Vikings sitting at about 4-2 right now after this game, figuring Philly being a loss, but that we would have beaten, either Atlanta or Pittsburgh. So that you got to steal a game somewhere that you probably weren't expected to win. This game kind of gives me that feel of a couple of years, that game in Buffalo a couple of years ago where we went in there and nobody gave us a fucking chance, and we had, one of the best games in recent memory of the NFL where the Vikings went in there and pulled out a victory at the very end. I think this could very well be a similar game to that kind of thing.
We need to start establishing home field advantage. We have not played as well as I've liked at US Bank.
Not the last couple of years we haven't.
No, we have to start establishing home field advantage. And a lot of that will go into that is the pre-snap penalties and just penalties in general. Mm-hmm. You can't be having penalties when you're playing at home.
No.
You just cannot, especially pre-snap penalties.
Right. The snap count. Don't jump. You don't, right. And then don't. How many freaking huge plays have we had called back this year? Punt returns, especially, it seems like every damn time
block in the back
that we break a punt return, it's a block in the back, and most of the time those block in the backs happen behind the play.
Right.
So they were completely unnecessary anyway.
And the thing is it's never the fans not being loud enough. It's never the fans not being loud enough. It's the team not playing that clean, penalty-free type of game.
Disciplined game. O'Connell has preached this for the entire time he's been here. Be at your best when your best is required. Guys, your best is going to be required this week.
Every week you play at home. Every game of the season, the best is required. But, man, we need to start making this home field advantageous. You can't do that when you're pissing down your leg with the penalties.
Nope. But anyway, at the end, like I said, the Vikings need to steal a game somewhere, and I think I'll give them this game as one that they're going to steal. So it'll be a one score game. Every game we win, it seems like it's a one score game. So I'm not going to give a prediction, but yeah, I'll take the Vikings here.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. This is a big swing game.
very well, and that very well could be. I mean, Vikings go out and win this game, it's going to say that, hey, the Vikings maybe are, the team that we thought they were preseason. So, but with that, we've gone on a little over an hour here. So, unless you got anything else you want to hit, Lance, I think we will call it a night.
I think we touched all the bases we need to touch. I can't wait for Gink to get back, man.
Yeah, we need him back. I mean, he's obviously
I
been.
think he hurt himself in that play where he was going up to bat down that pass, and he came down right on the fucking base of his head. And I think that's what
that probably because they said he had a little bit of it in training camp, so that probably re-aggravated it. Yeah,
right.
But yeah, with that, I want to thank everybody again for joining in the chat. Great discussion as always. If you haven't done so, please go hit that like, subscribe, follow on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, and on Twitter X. Make sure that you follow us in all those locations. We would appreciate it a ton. Again, thank you guys for everything, for joining us every week. Couldn't do this show without you guys. So with that, take us home, Lance.
Love you guys. Nice seeing y'all in the comments. A couple new names in here tonight. It's fantastic. We'll be back next week, Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we can go and look back at this Philly game, and hopefully it's all good, positive things. Let's go out there and get that win on Saturday, and we'll see y'all next week. Aubrey and Millie, if you're out there watching, Dad loves and misses you. Skull.
Have a good weekend, everybody.